Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, unfortunately, there was a TikTok that was circulating of a woman, a mother. This is why you say, just because you got some ovaries and you can produce eggs and have a child doesn't mean you should be having kids. But anyways, this cuckoo lady cut her daughter's hair on TikTok and posted it for the entire world to see. And her justification was her daughter needed to understand the lesson that her beauty is less important than her education. Now, I don't know what race this lady is, because this is definitely something that happens a lot in the black community, just going overboard sometimes with not sometimes, a lot of times really, with the punishments and with the disciplinarian actions. But this, first of all, this was depressing to me. I'm going to be real honest when I saw this, because I don't think people realize how many parents are really abusive to their kids. How many of these kids out here are really at the mercy of some crazy people. This actually happens probably a lot more often than what most people see and have seen in the past, because, it's the age of social media and technology, so we can see this stuff more often because these people are crazy enough to post it. But y'all will be surprised how much more often this kind of stuff happens. It's really sad when we have a whole society of individuals who call themselves parents who don't even know how to raise, let alone discipline their child. And instead of apologizing and making things right, getting some therapy, because clearly the people like her need it, and not doing this to their kids, they come up with every excuse in the book to justify their awful abusive behavior. There are so many more non-abusive ways to show her daughter that, if that's what she felt like her daughter was having an issue with. As a matter of fact, one of the best ways is to lead by example. A lot of people were saying that woman did that because she was jealous of her own daughter. And I hate to say this, it's really sickening and saddening, but there are a lot of mothers out there who do suffer from this. And not just mothers sometimes. Sometimes it's grandmothers and aunts. They are jealous of the younger women in their family, which is absurd to me because they were young women once too. It's not their fault that literally time just passed. And this is why the importance of aging with maturity is very, very pivotal. And not just that, but I keep going back to some of the same things I say over and over and over again. Some of these people, they need therapy, they need help, they need to do some self-reflection before they either get with another human being to spend any kind of time with or have children. Because what doesn't need to happen, what we don't need, is for people who are crazy deep down inside and have issues producing more and more children to bring into their craziness. And another sad factor is you can't just get some of these people to just not have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't have kids. If that's what you're going to do, if that's how you're going to act, then just don't have kids. No, that's too much like right too, apparently. And there's not even really a whole lot that you can tell a child, like, oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes, adults, they just be wilding and they just be acting crazy. Like, what do you tell a child that has to go through something like that? How do you help a child that has to go through something like that? And that, it's bad from the outside perspective too, because there are people that are looking inside and they wish that they could do something to help young women like her. And there's not much we can do. A lot of people were saying, we hope CPS show up at your house, lady, and take your child because you don't need children. Although, where does it go from there? Where does it stop? You know what I'm saying? But it starts with the first person. Before you go get some kids, before you go get into a relationship with somebody, make sure you all of your eggs are in line, so to speak. Make sure you go get some therapy. You go be a good person. Make sure you're not toxic. And then you don't bring children into your toxic mess. And learning and teaching people that abuse, aggression, physical assault, you putting your hands on somebody or doing something like cutting a child's hair, which is very detrimental to a child, that is not punishment. That is not discipline. That is abuse. That it does not need to be done, and you don't need to be passing it off as discipline, because that's not what it is. And we need to start having harsher punishments for people who do stuff like this to these kids. Because like I said, they didn't ask to be here, and they're literally at the mercy of their parents. Anyways, for any of you out there who do have a legitimate relationship with the Most High God, Yeshua, and you know for a fact you can get a prayer through, send up a prayer for these kids, for this young lady in particular as well. But send up a prayer for these kids who are out there, because like I said, this happens way more than what we think. Send a prayer up for these kids that are stuck in these abusive households with their parents, especially during the holidays, because we got Christmas coming up. The Christmas break is coming up. And some of these kids are going to be stuck with their families and their parents. Send up a prayer for them, for their protection, for their safety, for their sanity, for their peace. Because if we don't do something, Nobody else will. Y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comments below.